Well, even though Israel's attention has been elsewhere for the last 24 hours, there is still a tough ongoing battle at home: COVID-19. Numbers are not under control just yet, but the country's vaccine campaign continues to surpass expectations, but not without controversy. More in the next report.
A human rights group is allegedly accusing Pfizer of conducting an unauthorized human experiment on Israelis. The Helsinki Committee for Human Rights reportedly saying the deal Israel made with Pfizer needed to be approved in advance. Israeli officials negotiated with Pfizer to receive a large quantity of vaccinations in exchange for specific clinical trial information. The organization is expected to submit a formal complaint to the Ministry of Health. Some 2.3 million Israelis have received the first coronavirus vaccine, while nearly 700,000 have had their first dose. On Wednesday alone, Israel vaccinated roughly 200,000 people. Meanwhile, Israel's COVID-19 Commissioner Nachman Ash is criticizing the effectiveness of the Pfizer vaccine, saying it provides less protection against COVID-19 than the U.S. pharmaceutical firm had initially indicated it would, also cautioning that it may not protect against the new strains of the virus. Unfortunately, Israeli health officials are now saying that the country will not be able to reach herd immunity as intended, unless vaccines are distributed to Palestinians as well. Many rights organizations have called for Israel to provide the doses to Palestinians, but so far, those in the West Bank and Gaza largely don't have access to it. A U.S. Congresswoman is calling Israel racist for not sharing with the Palestinians, although experts say legally under the Oslo Accords, they are responsible for their own health care. Rashida Tlaib said Israel was denying the Palestinians access to a vaccine. The health ministry said that on Wednesday, 8,174 Israelis tested positive for COVID-19 after 93,000 tests had been conducted, placing the contagion rate at 9%. The ministry added, however, that the coefficient of infection has fallen below 1 for the first time since October. Chana Rifkin, ILTV.
Also, just a side note, the government press office here in Israel has decided to begin vaccinating foreign journalists. So all reporters stationed in Israel above the age of 40 will now be eligible for vaccination.